Finding your passion is probably one of the easiest or one of the hardest things you'll ever do. As you notice with some young people, that they just seem to know what they want to do, whether they've been given the God-given talent of being an amazing footballer like Messi, or whether you're like myself who really don't know what you want to do and you're just kind of like going through life, trying out different things, hoping to find that spark, that passion, where you just know that this thing is for you. And this is what I want to talk about in this video. It's like, are you ever too old to actually find that particular passion if you don't find it in those early stages? Because for me personally, when I was younger, I wasn't always the best behaved kid, I would say, in school. I was very, very easily led. I was always trying to impress other kids and stuff like that. But at the same time, I kind of felt lost in regards to exactly what I wanted to do and the kind of direction that I wanted to go in later life. And as I went through school, one thing I did learn is that I wasn't any good whatsoever at sitting there trying to actually like learn in a classroom environment setting. Like I knew straight away that I wasn't an office kind of person. Like that just wouldn't work for me. And then on the other side of things is like, you know, I always loved like football. Absolutely terrible at football. My dad was hoping that I was going to be this amazing footballer because he was pretty good. He had trials for Chelsea and Southampton and stuff. But I had two left feet in regards to that. But one thing I was good at was rugby. So I was pretty good at rugby, ended up playing for county and that lot. But still, I was never going to be the one, you know, to go on to play like high level bass. Because as soon as I got up to the 16-year-olds and to those colts, I found that, you know, those kids got a lot bigger and they were a lot quicker than me. So whereas I'd always play like, you know, a half decent style of rugby, I was never actually going to make it to, you know, the top tier, so to speak, in regards to that. But also with that is I kind of fell out of love with that as I got older. You know, the passion seemed to like stray away from that. And I knew then also that, you know, I was never going to be, you know, this elite sportsman or anything else like that. So back then also we didn't have the internet or anything else like that. I think maybe the internet was just coming in, I'm not too sure. But basically when I was younger, we didn't have so-called like playing online, YouTube, you know, and stuff like that. We didn't even have mobile phones. There's back in the days where you used to go to a phone box to actually ring your parents and that. So there wasn't a lot more options as what you have today. Like today, there's just a whole array of options. I know AI is coming in, replacing a few things and whatnot else, but that does, I feel, in some way create more, you know, different avenues for people to go down. But back then, it was basically like, you know, you're working house, you're going to work 9 to 5. There's a lot more jobs in regards to that back then. But I knew that, like I say, I couldn't do the school work. That wasn't for me. Sportsman wasn't going to be for me. So I certainly wasn't going to be a YouTuber or anything because that didn't exist. So the main option for me really was to actually go, you know, work on site, work with my hands and things like that. And even though I enjoyed working with my hands, I was quite natural with it. I feel like a creative person. So I kind of adapted to that kind of well. So I picked up, you know, bricklaying, carpentry and other bits and pieces. But even then, I still like kind of like bounce around. Now, I won't say that it's just mainly me looking for my passion. I would also say, like I say, I was a little bit easily led when I was a bit younger. I kind of like always wanted to try and fit in with the crowd, but I kind of like chose the wrong crowd for the first early years of my life, and especially up until my mid-20s or so. And I think as I was trying to get out of that sort of thing, trying to find my way in life, I was just kind of like settling, just trying to find like a good job to settle into, because I used to bounce around from job to job. But I just, you know, no matter what I'd done, I was never really that excited about it. It basically just paid bills. It just gave me money. Either when I was like in my early 20s to my mid 20s, it's just kind of like partying kind of money, you know, that kind of thing or what else. But as I got a bit older, I still felt that, you know, I just wanted something different, but I also wanted something a little bit more. But this is where I just could not find the things that I wanted to do. No matter how much I tried, how much I thought about things, you know, I'm always good with working my hands. But then I just had this overwhelming sense that I didn't want to work on tools. You know, I didn't want to go back into like trying to learn to do carpentry or anything else like that once I'd moved away from home up into here, into beautiful Wales. It just didn't feel right for me whatsoever to go down that kind of avenue whatsoever again. But one thing I did learn once I actually moved up to Wales, because I actually met my partner whilst I was working away, and I decided to move away from England, South England, down near Bournemouth way. I decided to move up here because mainly for the fact that it was I needed a change for one. I was just kind of like doing the monotonous thing. I was just going out partying, drinking with friends, and I needed a break and that lot. And I was lucky enough to meet my partner, and you know, my whole life basically changed then. I kind of like, I was geared and I knew I wanted to settle down. And in regards to that, once I started settling down, I realized what there was more to life. In regards to, you know, there's other things to do rather than just partying and going to the local pub, you know, watching football and all that lot. As I found here, especially like when I met my partner, which she had like a stepson, he was at 9, so I was becoming like a stepdad. Then we had my daughter, and I knew I just wanted to be like a hands-on dad. I wanted to get out and about, I want to see things. And one thing I started learning is that Wales, especially South Wales, has a lot to offer. And where I live just outside Cardiff now, even though this is more of the populated kind of area of South Wales, there's some beautiful like mountains to climb, not the kind of mountains you get like in Scotland, Austria and that lot. These are, you know, the class as mountains, I call them big hills mainly, but still beautiful nonetheless. We've got a beautiful coastline, and we also got some amazing waterfalls. Probably I'd say that's one thing that we are blessed with, especially once you go towards waterfall country. There's some amazing waterfalls there, probably some of the best in the UK. And I kind of like really started getting into the fact that I love being outdoors, you know, hiking, walking, started learning to go wild swimming. Then one time we were walking past these lads cliff jumping into like off the waterfalls into the water. And even though I was a little bit apprehensive, my daughter really wanted to have a go and that lot. And so she started jumping in. And, you know, I started really embracing the outdoor life. You know, I went from one extreme to the other. And I knew, like, in a sense that this is the kind of way that I wanted to live. I was, you know, I kind of like realizing that this is the better lifestyle. And without realizing it this time, I'm kind of like finding my passion. You know, now I'm starting to find the things that I really, really want to do without actually realizing it at the time. But then come the biggest thing for me personally. Now, at this particular time, I'm trying to work from home. I've got a few things going on. I'm trying to find out my life. You know, I'm jumping from one thing to another. I'm trying to stream at this time on YouTube. Making like fantasy images on Photoshop and stuff like that. And I'm kind of like trying to find my passion then. I'm just trying to find that spark, that thing that I really love to do, but that would allow me to like work at home and just, you know, embrace just, you know, everyday life and, you know, being like not having to go to a 9 to 5 or anything else like that. I could be with my family, so to speak. So in this area of my life, I'm still, you know, trying to find those little things. But what I didn't realize at this particular time was just that outdoor life was the actual spark for me. Because as soon as I did that, my stepson decided that he wanted to go to college. Now, he decided he wanted to do photography. He decided he was going to bail out, and he ended up leaving it alone. So I ended up picking up a camera. Now this, I would say, is probably the biggest single thing that changed my life. But I will say, it did not feel like it at the time. It just didn't. It didn't feel like when I picked up a camera, I thought, this is it for me. This is my passion. This is what I want to do. I want to go out and take photos and films and, you know, do all this kind of thing. I didn't think anything like that at all. I just picked it up mainly because I just wanted to capture some, you know, me going out with the family, capturing all these beautiful places that we're going to, because I'm a little bit over the top when we go places and stuff. I always like to find new places, even if they're not too far away. And I like to map out things, how long it takes to get there and stuff. I'm insane when it goes to holidays. I have things all lined up on Notion, how to get to here, there and everywhere. So when I actually picked up that camera, that was the main focus. It was just to mainly document and just put on, you know, keep on the Google Drive, keep on external hard drives, just look back in later life. But one thing I did find as I was doing this is that I kind of started to enjoy it in a way that I just didn't want to just do things with the family. So I started going down my daughter's life-saving group. And basically they have like they do it on the beach and that, like they train in the water, and basically they just practice going out to sea, rescuing people and stuff. But they used to do like competitions, like swimming competitions, beach races and other things like that. So basically I had a camera and I just thought, you know, let's have a little bit of a mess around. But one thing I did find that I absolutely loved straight away was actually doing like candid photography. I absolutely thought this was fascinating, and I was just taking pictures of the races to a certain degree, you know, so that people could take them home, even though I will say these are not the best. I certainly didn't learn my shutter speeds and that lot properly. There's a bit of blur going on, but you know, I tried my best. But I was taking pictures of things like that, yes. but I was also taking a lot of pictures of behind the scenes. I found it fascinating, kids playing, everyone having a laugh, watching my daughter playing with her friends, jumping on people's backs, rolling around in the sand. And I kind of like really got geared more towards like taking photos of like that kind of thing, like making a story of the whole day rather than just here's some pictures and racing, just doing the whole thing. And that started blossoming for me personally. I started going out into the streets, up into Cardiff and stuff like that. Started doing some street photography. And I just started going out with the camera a little bit more for myself rather than just documenting the family life. And then it just started to kind of like take off in a certain way, but not in a way that I thought to myself, this is it, this is what I want to do, or anything else like that. That only happened over I would probably say the last couple of years, where I've really thought to myself, actually, hang on a minute, I've been doing this as a hobby for this long, and I didn't realize or even think to myself that this could actually be a career for me. Like, it's jumping around on other things, trying to find, like little passions, or trying to find a nice job where I could bring money in and spend time with the family, without ever realizing that I was actually working on my passion the whole time. And like now, it seems to have snuck up on me, and it's such a weird way that it can happen. I think that can happen for a lot of people. Like I say, when you look at some younger kids and they jump into football and stuff like that, and they're really good, whether they play for Arsenal, or even if they play for the lower divisions, whether they play golf or any of that, like, they just seem to know, like they got a bit of a talent for something, and they dedicate all their time for it. But their vision is, I'm going to go and play for such and such, or I'm going to do such and such, and that's it, and that's what they're going to go for. I never actually felt like that when I picked up a camera. I just basically felt, I just wanted to do it, as more of a hobby. But like now looking back, I kind of now see that I kind of been working on it, and now looking forward, that's all I see. Like my passion is kind of like snuck up on me, and even though I'm reaching the ripe old age of like 47 next week, man, I tell you, it's so crazy how time passes. And I will say quickly on a little detail, like time goes so quickly once you are working and you got kids. My God, this time goes so fast. But anyway. But yeah, so now it's just, I can't see anything else. And I feel in a way like those kids when you're younger and you know exactly what you want to do for the rest of your life. I feel like that now at 47. I just feel this ultimate passion that I just want to make films. I want to make films, and I also want to take photos and stuff. And that's one thing I started gearing towards over the last year or so. I started moving away from the candid photography because I felt like I needed to take landscape photos. I needed to take photos of us cliff jumping, going in the water and all that kind of thing, because that's kind of like what you see on Instagram. You all go to these nice places and that lot. And, that's what we did as a family. But now I'm kind of like going back to that kind of way again. I'm kind of like missing it. And that's where like my film style's coming into play. Whereas I like to go out and film like postcards and stuff like that. People just living everyday lives, just short 5 to 10 second clips, and putting that into a story, and just doing that of my local area, and then start doing photos and that lot as well. So it is weird how life can turn out, and like I say, I can't see me ever wanting to do anything else, and I never would. Like, I'm never going to give up on this dream whatsoever. I always had like this kind of thing over the last lot of years that I've always wanted to do YouTube. I never thought that I'd actually want to like talk to a camera like this. And whereas I know I'm not the most perfect person at talking to a camera right now, I kind of like built up the habit over the last little while of actually getting used to actually talking to this machine and just pretending that someone's there and trying to like get my point across. Like this, none of this is scripted or anything else like that. I like to shoot from the hip. Like one at my wedding, I basically just talked. I didn't write anything down. I just wanted to do it organically. And whereas I probably need more work on the way that I talk and the way I structure my videos possibly. But I think that this kind of way works quite well. And from that, every single time I do that, I'm always working on my passion. And now I'm able to tell stories. I'm super excited that we're going to Berlin soon, be able to tell stories. I'm going to be doing lots of photos and videos from there, especially a lot of candid stuff as well. And I'm super excited. Like, I feel like a big kid again. Like, it's so weird. Like, I don't know. It's hard to describe. Like I say, like, just the fact that, like, I kind of like was lost for so many years. Not lost. I've had a great life. I'm grateful for everything I have. I got a house. I got a wife. I got kids. I got a beautiful dog. You know what I mean? I got nothing to moan about whatsoever. You know what I mean? I'm perfectly healthy in every kind of way. So I got nothing to moan about whatsoever. But now I've got this. It's just that extra spark in my life to actually now find, you know, just realize, hang on a minute, this is my passion. This is what I want to do. I kind of feel like those kids who knew they were going to be a footballer, or, you know, they knew they were going to be, I don't know, an engineer or something like that, but they were so passionate about it. They spent all, you know, hours and hours doing, or, you know, college work and stuff like that, you know, going abroad by themselves to work for these amazing companies and stuff like that. I kind of like feel like that now. I kind of like know how that feels, and it's kind of snuck up on me. And I feel that now, like, especially for the older generations, where a lot of people feel lost and what else, and it is a weird kind of time nowadays where a lot of people feel like they're stuck in a rat race, and they want to do other things. And all I can say is to basically just sometimes, you know, sacrifice like your time and to kind of like just try new things. I think that's probably the biggest thing for me over the last lot of years. I did try a lot of different things, and it's just weird that if you just kind of got an inkling of knowing what you want to do, like, you know, the end goal, say like you wanted to travel, or you wanted to be an engineer, or it's something, if you keep just doing the little steps, like, I don't know, you just kind of like, if you've got that end goal in mind, you kind of like find your way. It's such a weird thing. And then things just sneak up on you, and you think, hang on a minute, this is what I've been looking for. And I see that in a lot of people that I listen to. I listen to a lot of podcasts of people that do amazingly well for themselves and stuff. And like I've mentioned in the previous video, like Steve Jobs said, you know, you can't connect the dots for looking forward. You can only connect them looking back. Because that guy went and created Apple, obviously got sacked from Apple, then he went and created Pixar, used the stuff from Pixar to put into Apple, and made it into the amazing company it is. You might not like him as a character, but he still did all those things. It just, everything worked together, and he had a massive passion and a drive to make that, you know, the company that it is today. So basically, I'm just trying to get out to point out, I suppose, without babbling on anymore, is that, you know, if you've got like a goal or a passion in your life that, you know, that you kind of got an idea of the direction that you want to go in, and you're not really too sure how you want to get there, because you just can't find, you know, what it is that, you know, that drives you and that makes you want to get up every morning no matter what. You don't even class it as work anymore. You know, you just got this urge and this passion to do something, to create something. It is to try out different things, and it is never too late. Like I said, I'm 47. I've only like been really focusing on this probably since I was like 45, and before that it was just mainly just a bit of a hobby, and I was kind of lost trying out different things all the time, getting really down on myself. I had many moments like I felt just depressed. I really did, even though I had an amazing daughter, family, everyone looking after me, supporting me along the way. I just felt lost. I'll be another video that I'll talk about, but I just want to say that basically that is weird, that I think as long as you keep going, you keep trying to find your passion in life, it will find you. It'll be a weird time that, you know, you will meet in the middle, and those kind of things will come into your life. You just gotta sometimes trust the process, I guess. But anyway, I hope I didn't babble on too much. Like I say, I like to keep this organic. If you're still with me, I really appreciate it. If you can drop a like, that'd be absolutely amazing. I will be making some more videos. I will be doing some videos in regards to like filming and photography and stuff, not in regards to like tutorials or anything else like that. Just basically like from a deeper level, personal level, just talking about why I do certain things the way that I do, and also like, you know, my road map to where I'm actually going, because I've only just started basically. So I just want to document it along the journey. So if you want to join me for this journey, that'd be absolutely amazing. Drop any comments in the comment section below, get my words out, and I will certainly message you back. But anyway, thank you very much for sticking with me. Bye bye.